Baseball is back. The NFL offseason is heating up when we have ESPN play-by-play broadcaster Mark Kestecher joining the show. Hello and welcome to Next Player Up. I'm your host with the most, Jayden Becker, and alongside me are my analysts, Ethan Birch and Luke Pagoni. Guys, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Jayden. Excited to be back into the studio for episode number 2. And we got some fun topics to talk about today.
Yeah, Jayden, excited to be back for the second episode of the season. As Ethan said, some great topics to get into. Let's get right into it.
All right, then, let's jump right into it. With the MLB season right around the corner and most of the huge free agency moves out of the way, you have to wonder who will be the best team coming into the season. Starting with the American League, almost wide open as last year's pennant winners down in Tampa Bay have found the short end of the stick this offseason. Ethan, I'm going to come to you here first. Who do you think is the best team in the AL coming into this season? Now let's take a look back at this week in Ithaca sports and a look ahead to what's next. Ithaca College women's lacrosse remained undefeated this week after defeating Rochester 13-5 on Friday at Higgins Stadium and 21-13 on Saturday in Rochester. The Bombers are 9-0 and will play the last doubleheader of the season against Vassar College. On Friday, the Bombers will play in Poughkeepsie at 4 p.m. and then the regular season finale for the Bombers is at Higgins Stadium at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Ithaca men lacrosse play their second-ranked opponent in a row as they face off against number 9 Union College Wednesday at 4 p.m. This past Wednesday, IC traveled to Rochester and lost 21-6 to the number 1 team in the country in the RIT Tigers. The Bombers are 3-2 on the season after 3 games were postponed after a close contact COVID case 2 weeks ago. The Ithaca men's and women's track and field competed in the Red Hawks Invitational at Robert Wesleyan College and a tri-meet at SUNY Geneseo this weekend. In the 100-meter hurdles, senior Logan Bruce took first place with a time of 15.70, and junior Caitlin Hutchison finished second in the 400-meter race, posting a 57.07, which is the 4th best this season in Division III. In the 4x100-meter relays, junior Akap Takor and Jordan Harrigan and first years Sam Panzer and Jalen Leonard Osborne finished 42.5 seconds, taking the top spot. Leonard Osborne, Panzer, and Takor went 1, 2, and 3 in the 100-meter dash as well. Ithaca also took the first 5 spots in the women's pole vault, with senior Julian Terry taking the way, followed by first years Sarah Altonen, Gwen Geisler, senior Julia Nomber, and sophomore Jamie Rozig. For the men, junior Dom Mikula bested his own school record, clearing nearly 5 meters. And in shot put, junior Luke Tobia set a new personal record at 14.56 meters. And sophomore Justin Shosted threw the discus 38.87 meters, both winning their events. That will do it for this edition of Sports Talk, but don't forget that there is a plethora of sports coverage on our networks in addition to Sports Talk every Sunday. During the week, you can catch Sportscast on both WICB and VIC here on 91.7 FM from 6 to 10 a.m., noon, and 3 to 5 p.m. at the 46-minute mark of the hour, and on VIC, tune in from 6 to 8 a.m., noon, and 3 to 5 p.m. at the 28-minute mark. Also, be sure to tune in to the weekend sports talk shows on VIC airing Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Shows discuss topics ranging from local to professional sports. Though be sure to check out Bombers Radio Net on Twitter for the latest updates regarding our coverage of IC athletes for the rest of the semester. Special thanks to Manager of Radio Operations Jeremy Menard, WICB Station Manager Sam Eyes, and WICB Sports Director John Ricari. I'm Jayden Becker. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Ithaca Now is coming up next. Bombers Sports take over Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jayden Becker. Ithaca College baseball has been struggling, losing 5 of their last 8 games, but looking to find their way back on track as they will face Vassar College in a doubleheader. The Bombers have become very familiar with the Brewers as of late, as a doubleheader against Vassar in Dutchess County ended in a dominating Bombers sweep, winning the second game with a score of 17-1. Tomorrow's doubleheader will be back home for the Bombers at Freeman Field, with first pitch set for 1 p.m. Eastern. Game 2 of the doubleheader will be featured on VIC Radio. Cortica makes its way to the diamond for the Ithaca Bombers softball team. Cortland softball are 9-3 on the season, leading the SUNYAC in batting average and on-base percentage. Cortland is also dominant on the mound with a 171 team ERA. The power has been there for the Bombers, able to score at will with 12 home runs on 10 games into the season, although strong pitching will need to hunker down to get past the Red Dragons. The Bombers from SUNY Cortland will start at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Coming off an exciting 12-11 victory against Clarkson University, the 20th-ranked Ithaca College men's lacrosse team continues their season against the #1 Division III men's lacrosse team in the nation, RIT. The Bombers currently getting back on track after a COVID pause halted their 2021 campaign. The Ithaca men's lacrosse team is currently 4-1 and needs to be prepared for the high-octane shooting coming from the Tigers, who lead the Liberty League in shot percentage by the 10% margin. The first face-off is at 3 p.m. from RIT. Looking on to professional sports, the Mets and Mother Nature haven't been the best of friends as of late, only playing 5 out of the scheduled 9 games to start the season. The Mets take on the Phillies in a doubleheader this afternoon, with Taijuan Walker towing the rubber for the Orange and Blue in his second start as a Met. The Mets are 2-3 on the season, with 2 of those losses coming from the Phillies to start the season. The first pitch of the doubleheader is at 4:10 p.m. with no rain in the forecast. Remember to listen to Sports Talk Radio every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with sports at 3:51 p.m. I'm Jayden Becker. All right, let's jump right into it then. As time in the NBA regular season slowly but surely comes to an end, we have to start thinking about the NBA playoffs and what teams can make a surprising run towards the NBA Finals. We all know about the Lakers and the Nets, and we're talking about upsets here. Starting off with the Eastern Conference, Ethan, who do you have as a possible upset team in this year's NBA playoffs? Student athletes all around the country are feeling the effects of COVID-19. Seasons being postponed, entire programs being put on hold, and student athletes just trying to play the game they love just one more time. This issue has hit home for Tompkins County, as the Ithaca men's basketball team have found some issues going forward. Champions. In the 2019-2020 season, the Ithaca College men's basketball team won the Liberty League championship for the first time since 2013. Now with a new head coach, Sean Burton, the 2020-2021 Ithaca men's team were ready for a second run at the title until COVID-19 halted their plans. I got a chance to talk to the new head coach, Sean Burton, about the future of this team and what changes they needed to make this offseason.
Obviously, there's frustrations across the board. They would love to be together. This is the time of year that is almost the most enjoyable as a student athlete, especially men's basketball, because this is that 6-week period that leading up to the season, October 15th, where they're just playing pickup together. They're having fun. They're getting to know each other. They're building that chemistry. They're lifting together. They're doing conditioning together. So obviously they're missing that camaraderie, but I think as a whole, they're a really close-knit group.
No matter how much changes this offseason, for better or worse, Coach Burton can't wait to be back on campus.
The favorite part for me of this job is the day-to-day interactions with these guys in person. I'm going to miss that all semester. I certainly miss that a ton.
I had a chance to talk with Ithaca basketball players George Sikoriak, Liam Spellman, and Skylar Sinen, who are all big parts of the Liberty League championship, and how they're staying ready for whatever's next.
It's definitely been a struggle, but I mean, I feel like we're making it work, just trying to work with what we got, but it's a lot easier being at school, that's for sure.
I know for me personally, I'm trying to get a little more explosive and trying to get a little stronger. I've been trying to gain a little weight since quarantine, so that's been a big thing that I'm trying to do, and I think it's been working a little bit. I've gained a couple pounds, so that's always good.
The loss of a few key seniors has been counterbalanced by a great freshman and transferring class. Now the communication has been different with the current players.
You're like having your freshman year kind of taken away from you like that and dealing with everything that's coming. I think they've all handled it pretty well. A couple of the guys are taking gap years. Hopefully things go back to normal the next year and then they can restart. But then there are also some guys that are just starting school. So I think that they've handled it very well, and I think they're excited to play and just be a part of the community.
The Ithaca College men's basketball team is going to have to wait until 2021 if they want to play in an NCAA setting. There has been talks of an abbreviated schedule for next year, but there's no finalized decision as of yet. Reporting from Queens, New York, I'm Jayden Becker, ICTV News Watch. Welcome back to Next Player Up. Jayden Becker alongside Ethan Birch and Luke Pagoni. Huge news coming out of MetLife, and it's not Cortica, sadly. It's Sam Darnold being traded from the New York Jets heading to the Carolina Panthers for a multitude of draft picks. A lot to unpack here with this trade as it changes the dynamic of both teams heading into this year's draft. First things first, Luke, is Sam going to be able to bounce back as a Carolina Panther? Big question. What do you got?
Here's your host, Jayden Becker.
Samoa Joe and others released by the WWE. I'm Jayden Becker, and this is the Daily DDT Podcast. You can catch this podcast on all your favorite platforms for your morning drive, lunch break, or whenever you need your wrestling fix. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts so you can never miss an episode. And remember, you can ask your smart device to play the Daily DDT Podcast. If you like content like this, check out our writers at dailyddt.com. And if you want to hear more from me, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Jayden Becker TV. On this day in pro wrestling history is brought to you by Earth Eco Foods. Nothing feels better than being able to enjoy a rich, smooth, creamy chocolate and knowing you're doing something good for your body. Earth Eco Foods starts with 100% organic cacao beans that are naturally kissed by the sun, maintaining its miraculous health benefits, then blended by turmeric, MCT oil, coconut, Himalayan sea salt, cinnamon, and black pepper for the perfect blend to make you feel the best you've ever have. The result, fall in love with a truly decadent, healthy, guilt-free chocolate, removing your cravings, facilitating weight loss, boosting your energy, and reducing your inflammation with one simple drink. Not only that, it is friendly to paleo, gluten-free, keto, vegan, and vegetarian diets. For up to 15% off, please visit earthecofoods.com/minutemedia and use the code MINUTE15. That is MINUTE15, all caps, no spaces, at checkout. Reach your full potential inspired by nature with Earth Eco Foods. That's all the time we have for this episode, but don't miss us too much. We'll be right back here with you, same time, same place, Sundays at 7:30 p.m. on ICTV. For Ethan Birch and Luke Pagoni, I'm Jayden Becker, and we'll see you next time on Next Player Up.